Hello and welcome to GoodGood Investing. My name is Rachel Grunn, and this week we do not have Andrea Cwik with us, but she is with us in spirit. She is enjoying some well-deserved time off with the family, so you guys are just stuck with me this week. But I have a really exciting topic for you today, and that is all about how billionaires are saving money in taxes by investing in commercial real estate. So this week we are talking all about cost segregation and depreciation. What does that mean? Those are really fancy big words, but honestly, once we boil it down, you will be a cost seg expert. Now that is a great vocab word, cost seg, which is short for cost segregation. We also call it bonus depreciation, and we will explain exactly why we use those words in this industry. But as you guys know, it's no secret that billionaires do save a lot of money on taxes legally. This is not like, any sort of shady paper pushing or anything like that. Fully legally, a lot of even passive investors are saving money on their taxes through commercial real estate. So what is cost segregation? Essentially, we hire a cost segregation company to come in and do a cost seg study on our properties whenever we acquire them. Now, you doesn't have to be residential in order to do a cost seg study, and there's really no bottom limit on what property would warrant a cost seg study. You can do cost seg on your rentals. It just depends from a financial perspective if it would make sense for you to hire a cost seg specialist to come in, and if the benefit would be high enough in order to make that financial investment make sense, because it does cost money to hire these professionals, right? So even we're investing in vineyards. Our vineyards, we have cost segregation and bonus depreciation on. Our triple net lease, we have that. Any property that we own directly, as long as it's a hard asset, pretty much you can get a cost seg company in there to do a depreciation analysis. So when you own a single family property, right? So whether it's your personal residence or a rental, you do get to claim depreciation on that asset. Now, maybe you are unsure of what that looks like on your specific return, and we do encourage all of our listeners to chat with a tax professional about how this might, what the application of this looks like specific to your situation. But you do get to claim depreciation. When you get depreciation, it's on a 27.5-year schedule. Why is it 27.5 years? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. Probably someone said 27, someone said 28, and they met in the middle. 27.5 years of depreciation on your assets. So everything depreciates on a schedule, but 27.5 years is the arbitrary life of depreciation, okay? So you get to claim 27.5 years of whatever. So say your oven, your stove, right, is $1,500. So you get to claim, if you divide that by 27.5, you get to claim that much every year in depreciation. If you were to do a cost seg study, usually you'll just take the standard depreciation allowance, but if you go in and itemize every item, then you can claim the specific amount of depreciation per item on the property. This is what we do whenever we have a cost seg study. A company comes in and they itemize every fixture or element on the property that qualifies for depreciation and puts it on a 27.5-year schedule. Now this is where the bonus comes in, because we actually get to claim all of that depreciation up front. We don't have to wait 27.5 years to realize the depreciation on these fixtures on the property. We actually get to claim it in the first year. That is millions and millions of dollars potentially in tax write-off for our passive investors and for our active lead sponsors. Now, the rule of thumb is, according to my CPA, talk to yours, but the rule of thumb is that passive losses can offset your passive gains. So this doesn't mean that you can take depreciation and offset your ordinary income from your W-2 or your 1099, But you can take that write-off and you can offset your passive income for that year, the year after that. It's like a bank that doesn't expire. So if you have 45 grand in depreciation loss, you can claim as much as you want this year, as much as you want next year. You can push it all down the line for multiple years to come, just however it makes sense for you and your situation. Now, there was a little talk at the beginning of this year that your bonus depreciation is going from 100% to 80%. And it's my understanding that that means, it's my CPA's understanding, that last year we could claim 100% of our depreciation allowance. Now we are only allowed to claim 80% of our depreciation allowance. 2024, it'll be 60%. 2025, it'll be 40%, and so on and so forth until they say depreciation runs out completely. Now, I don't think that's the case because commercial real estate investing really stimulates the economy. So I don't see a world where that would continue to happen. However, that is the trajectory we are on. So if you're interested in tax benefits from commercial real estate, I would encourage you to start investing sooner rather than later. So essentially you get this large depreciation allowance, and it's going to be reflected on your K1, which is your investment document that you will get at the beginning of next year that kind of highlights how much money you made in your investment from the previous year, what your depreciation allowance was from the previous year, and you hand that to your CPA and they will know exactly what to do with it. Obviously have a strategy call with them to see if claiming all of the depreciation makes sense for you this year, or maybe it makes sense to hold on to it for a few years. That's a discussion that you will have with your CPA. But you think, well, how then are billionaires writing off all of their income off depreciation if you can only use it to offset your passive income? Well, that's because there is the REP status, which stands for real estate professional status. Again, disclaimer, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax professional, I don't pretend to be. Okay, I'm just speaking from my own experience, and I do encourage you to reach out to the professionals in your life that are authorized to advise you on the matter. Now, with a real estate professional status, that means that you in some way are actively participating in real estate related activities specific to the property that you're investing in. So, there's different ways that people are able to claim real estate professional status. And a lot of billionaires have found ways to claim that status because then they can offset not only their ordinary income, but also their spouse's ordinary income. So I've seen people retire their spouses so that their spouses can work in a real estate capacity to receive that rep status and legally be able to write off all of their joint income, regardless of if it's from active or passive means. And I know people personally that have not paid taxes in a decade through this strategy. It is totally legal, obviously incentivized by the government to stimulate the economy, and it is there for your taking. So do with that what you may. I've done what I may, and it has been fantastic for my family. So that is kind of a sweeping highlight of what bonus depreciation is, how billionaires are not paying taxes, why people are leveraging their investments to not only make income passively, but also to keep their income, right? Because we can make it, but then keeping it is a whole other can of worms in trying to, legally not pay as much money in taxes. So that is a great strategy that a lot of people have employed, and I know will continue to employ, no doubt about that. Well, that's it this week. Next week, we will have Andrea back in studio. We have some exciting new content coming out for you guys. We've gotten some listener questions, which we're going to be addressing. And guys, if there's ever a question that you have, reach out to us, and we would love to address it on the podcast as well. And we just want to demystify commercial investing for everyone, because it is for you, regardless of where you started, regardless of what your goals are, where you're going. It is for you, and it is accessible and achievable. All right, well, until next week, guys, don't invest good, invest twice as good. Bye.